We're going to bring in Rodney Harrison now. He's a CBS News law enforcement contributor and former Suffolk County police commissioner. Also spent 3 decades with the NYPD. Rodney, very good to have you here. We were just chatting during that story there about how unusual this type of event is. If you could talk about that, but also this surveillance video, which everyone has watched millions and millions of times. What does it tell us? How does it help law enforcement?
So it's a little concerning. Let's just go back to the timeline. A little bit before 7 o'clock in the morning, our unfortunate victim is heading eastbound on 54th Street, walking by himself. Looks like he's headed and getting prepared for this conference he's about to engage. And our killer is out there waiting for him. And he's prepared. He has himself covered up, has a mask. Looks like he has a book bag over his shoulders, which possibly has some clothing, and I'll talk about that in a second. He also has a gun with some type of extension on it. Was it a silencer or some type of muffler? But he points it at our victim, and you just take a look at his stance and how he had the gun pointed out. He knew what he was doing. The gun jams. He's able to deal with the malfunction and fires very quickly. So it looks like he's very proficient with how to use a firearm. And then he gets on a bike and rides off, knowing that there's cameras all over the place, and egresses into Central Park, knowing that he could possibly change there and then walk out of Central Park without being observed on video.
And that's what I'm fascinated by. They keep saying professional, professional, but how professional is he? He goes to Starbucks. If you know this guy, you know who he is. You can clearly see his face. He drops his phone, apparently. He gets protein bars. He's got a water bottle. So police have all sorts of evidence that they can now look at. Does this sound like a professional man to you? Clearly, he knew what he was doing with a gun, but does this sound professional to you?
So, you know, people asking, was this individual hired to kill, or a hitman, I guess is a phrase that they want to use. But there were some things that he did wrong. Once again, a phone was left behind. We believe that it may be connected to him. Once again, is how his face was covered, but at one point it was exposed, which, you know, it will help out with being identified through facial recognition. So, listen, is he a professional? Is he a hitman? You know, time will tell, but I will say this. The investigators in Manhattan South are some of the best detectives in the world, and they'll get to the bottom of it.
They also know more than they're telling us, too.
Well, yeah, they're professionals also.
Yes, yes.
Commissioner, just in 15 seconds, I think the digital breadcrumbs, the number of CCTV cameras that are in New York City, that should give you a very clear picture of where he was going and who he is.
So, you know, the NYPD is arguably one of the best police departments when it comes to using technology, and the cameras that are circling around Lower Manhattan has definitely helped their clearance rate. They have an 87% clearance rate in Manhattan South, which is the best in the city. So between that and using Crime Stopper hotline and evidence and other types of technology, I think they'll be able to get down to the bottom.
Do you have any intel on a motive? Yes or no?
No, so that's something that the investigators need to do regarding trying to find out what type of threats were made, either to himself, to his family, his business. But they'll go back to Minnesota and speak to individuals to try to get a better idea of what the motive might be.
Okay.
All right, Rodney Harrison, always great to have you at the table. Thank you very much.